Hey everyone, Kevin here with Divinely Design, and I thought I'd do a quick video. We're going to do a paper craft project, and I thought I would do a sort of an autumn banner. You could make this a Halloween banner too, and so this will probably be a pretty quick video, but let's get started. Okay, so for this, what I'll be using we're going to be using the big kick or the big shot or whatever whatever tool you have here. I'm going to be using some Lawn Fawn dies for that. The one I'm going to be using primarily is called the Stitched Party Banners, and you can see it comes with a large banner, a smaller banner, a circle, and a heart. And the banners of the circle all have a stitched embellishment to them. I really like this die set. I wasn't quite sure when I bought it, you know, if I would like it or use it, but it's actually pretty fun to use. I really like it a lot. So we'll be using that die set primarily. And then I'm using some letters, and this is called Louie's ABCs, also from Lawn Fawn. It's an alphabet die cut set, which I really like. I have some specialty, pattern paper. I got this at my local AC Moore. It's kind of a Halloween theme. This one's called the Haunted Paper Pad, and it's by American Crafts. And I used this pattern here. If you can see that, the one that has the little bats on it. We'll be using some ribbon, some twine, and glue dots, and I think that's it. Okay, so to make the banner itself, I'm going to spell out two words, happy and autumn, and so each letter goes on its own banner. So I have this paper that I also got at my local AC Moore. It was on special for, well, they go for 60 cents, but they were 40% off, so you know what that is. But I really like this. It has little pumpkins on one side, and on the other side it's got this great orange check pattern. It even has this little border of bats that you could use. So it's really kind of a fun paper. So for the first piece, I'm going to use the large stitch die. I'm using my magnetic platform on my big kick. And I'll just cut that out. Okay. I'm going to set that aside real quick. And then I'm going to switch to the other side, the kind of checkered pattern. And I'm going to use the smaller stitched border and run that through. Okay, so that gives us the larger banner piece, and the smaller one's going to fit inside it here. I also used the circle to punch out, or to punch out some stitched circles with the bat pattern. So this gives you kind of the base for the banners itself. You also use the letters. Now this is, so I sort of layer them. This goes on top of this, and this goes in the middle. And I just eyeballed it and just tried to make sure they're nice and centered. So that gives you kind of the completed one. And on top of the circle, I used, this is actually felt, but it's like a stiff felt that comes from elk. You can buy it in Michael's or AC Moore, I think. So it's got kind of a raised, it's more raised than a piece of paper, but it's a really stiff felt, very easy to cut on the big kick. So I cut out some letters as well. So I would just put the letters on there, put them all together, and that sort of gives me my banner itself. And to that, I used some glue dots, and I added little bows to the corners up here. So let me put this together real quick just so you can kind of see. So I glued the letter on the circle, glued the circle on the small banner, and then I'm using some Martha Stewart craft glue. And just sort of center it in the banner. Now you'll notice that these banners actually come with little holes punched out. We will use the holes in the bigger one, but the smaller one just gets glued down. And again, I just sort of eyeball it to try and center it. Now you'll want to give this a little bit of time. It does make, you know, your each banner pattern pretty sturdy because you have you know, three layers of paper, and I use liquid glue on all of the layers. You certainly, I guess, wouldn't have to. You could use, you know, tape runner or things like that because it is only paper, but I feel like the glue gives it a nice sturdy feeling to it. So give that a few seconds to dry, and then I used some, these are the ultra thin glue dots. And I just take one each, and you'll see that there's the hole that we're going to string it through, and then there's the other hole in the banner. So I cover kind of just between them with a glue dot. Just press a glue dot in there. I can get this next one in here. And then I made some orange bows, and just to go over quickly how I made the bows, I used the fork method, which I'm sure many people are familiar with. So, see if I can get a good angle here on the camera. Lay the ribbon on the top of the fork. Bring this part around here to the back. I don't know if I can get a good angle here. Bring it to the back. Now, you'll want to come over the top of this ribbon here and through the middle of the fork, like you're threading a needle. Go around to the back. I'm going to pull that through, lift it up, and come in the middle of the fork between the tongs. So between the tongs. Then I'm going to lay the whole thing down. I'm going to take my two ends and I'm going to tie them together. And make that nice and tight, and then you can pull it off and you'll have a nice bow. Now sometimes you have to fiddle with it just for a second or two to sort of pull the tails in the right direction, and then I snipped them off and I made just a whole bunch of little bows. And so I took those bows to where I have the glue dots, and I kind of held it so that I'm going to get a good, the bow's going to lay down nicely on my card. So I took the two little tails, and that's how I held it, and then I'm going to place it right on that glue dot, and I'm going to stick down not only the bow itself but the tails, so that I have a lot of control kind of over how the bow looks. I don't get the tails that are sort of wagging all over the place. So that's what the individual panels look like. And then I simply took some twine and I strung them through and to spell out my words. And let's take a look at the finished banner. Okay, so here's the finished banner. You can see I took just some black paper and I just hand drew some bats. And I actually tried to match the style of the bats to this, to the bats that are in this gray circle here. So I just free-handed it, but they have kind of a particular shape to their bats. So I tried to match the shape there, just in general, so there's a little bit of cohesion there. And that's it. That's my Happy Autumn banner. Again, I could have made it Halloween because this is, certainly very Halloween patterns and paper and kind of a theme. But I wanted it to say autumn because, I don't know, it was just sort of in that mood. And I think it looks really cute. Okay, that's it. So very quick video, paper crafting. Check back here with more videos on soap and bath and beauty products, and now paper crafting. Comments, questions, leave them below. Be sure to hit that like button if you like this video, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel, click that subscribe button. Would love to have you join my channel. And comments, questions, leave them below. Love to get them, and I try to answer all of them. So thanks very much for watching. Everybody have a great day.